I'm going to propose like this. A bit of tradition, that is the repetition of the 5 precepts, observation of 5 precepts. And out of that, we do some meditation, do guided meditation. Guided meditation and this meditation on the body. On the body, after that, I give a short talk. That can be followed by questions and answers if you have any questions or comments. Hopefully we can conclude by 2:30 the latest. So since the Burmese Buddhists are the majority here, so we go with Okanda as the traditional way of observing the 5 precepts, Okanda Sutta. Yakina Sasananuka International Group, Buddhist 8. Pradhana Pupwe Timai Dodipa Chandra Tune Gai Tara Mamamle Timai Tara Nando Minasu Busam Viratama Mesu Natusu Ne Sankachara Tia Wajudo Jare the group Judo Jaro where Vesakudu Dana Kudu Tila Kudu Pavana Kudu Ikam Kudu Kamu Napam Suruja Soundday Tila Dana Saki Barmi Kudu Nube Maple Nipan Diaro Naku Yaya Yao Chang Chenkong Cheto Vipandana Diaro Naku Liamyason Loikusa Chinchan Choko Ato Nanjado Yukanda Yukanda Minam Chichawasi Ahanganti Titrani Nataha Insati Lan Maya Sami Yogahan Katawa Dilan Dita Alipandi Didiyambi Ahambandi Titrani Nataha Insati Lan Maya Sami Yogahan Katawa Dilan Dita Alipandi Tadiyambi Ahambandi Titrani Nataha Insati Lan Maya Sami Yogahan Katawa Dilan Dita Alipandi Yamadami Dita Namo Tata Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ Tarana Kisami, Dhammam Tarana Kisami, Sangham Tarana Kisami. Buddhaṃ Tarana Kisami, Dhammam Tarana Kisami, Sangham Tarana Kisami. Tutiyampi Buddhaṃ Tarana Kisami, Tutiyampi Dhammam Tarana Kisami, Tutiyampi Sangham Tarana Kisami. Tutiyampi Buddhaṃ Tarana Kisami, Tutiyampi Dhammam Tarana Kisami, Tutiyampi Sangham Tarana Kisami. Tadiyampi Buddhaṃ Taranam Kisami, Tadiyampi Dhammam Taranam Kisami, Tadiyampi Sangham Taranam Kisami. Tadiyampi Buddhaṃ Taranam Kisami, Tadiyampi Dhammam Taranam Kisami, Tadiyampi Sangham Taranam Kisami. Tarana Kamanandari Pona Anadi Pata Virani Teka Vidandamadi Ami Adena Dana Virani Teka Vidandamadi Ami Dame Dumesa Sara Virani Teka Vidandamadi Ami Avada Viramni Teka Vidandamadi Ami Dura Miriam Misapamata Tana Viramni Teka Vidandamadi Ami Apamadena Tamadeta. We are going to do meditation. Sometimes this is called relaxation meditation. It's about mindfulness practice, using the body as the meditation object. One of the skills that we develop during this is I usually call this attention movement control. Our attention always moves. Attention moves from object to object. You're eating, your attention is with television. You're watching television, your attention with your friend. You're talking to your friend, your attention is with your job. Your attention always moves. And you either have control over it or no control over it. So, the training, meditation as the training is to develop attention movement control, to control over the movement of the attention. Whether you are a student, a doctor, an IT worker, a nurse, is in whatever profession you engage in, you need to have this ability to do your job efficiently. So attention movement control. In this guided meditation, I'm going to ask you to focus on a certain part, then move to the next one, and then the next one, and to the next one, like this. So attention movement control is an exercise. Another one is, another quality we try to develop in this guided meditation is self-compassion. Self-compassion, to be compassionate about ourselves. After a meal like this, the body is tired. When you get up early, the body is tired. When the body is tired, because a monk is going to give a talk, then you know you're fighting with this tiredness. And the way is compassion, or if you pay attention to your tiredness, if you look after your body, is this an indulgence? Is this laziness? There's all sorts of things can go through your mind. But what I'm saying here is, we are going to develop some compassion towards our body, so self-compassion. Of course, in the Buddhist tradition, even when we are still alive like this, we dissect this body into many parts, and we try to visualize them separately, like disassembling. When you disassemble a car, you disassemble here the engine, the windows, the seat, and many things. If you separate them, there's no notion of a car anymore. A car is a collective notion that you have because you put all those things together. But once you separate those things, then the notion of a car is not there anymore, and it doesn't matter. the notion of me, the notion of mine is very strong because we don't try to disassemble this body. The whole Buddhist teaching is about disassembling what we call I, what we call me, what we call my body into two, mind and matter, into five aggregates, five khandhas, into six jhanas, six senses. You see? So we can go on, the list can go on. So we have until 12 to 13, etc. This is about disassembling. 32 parts of the body, this is about dissecting. So this is basically the principle of this guided meditation. And the good thing is that you can lean on the wall like Chandra, you can lean on the wall. If you like, lean on the wall. You don't have to face me, you can face it, you can lean on the wall, it's okay. But first, I'd like you to place your hands on the floor like this. Sit comfortably, place your hand on the floor with your palms upward. Okay, relax, this is really relax. If you wear glasses like me, you can take off your glasses for a while. And then just close your eyes lightly. Now take deep and slow breathing. Breathing in deeply, gently. Breathing out slowly, gently. Breathing in deep and slow. Breathing out gentle. You may think you are resting in meditation, but actually after a meal like this, some part of your body, especially the tummy, works extremely hard to digest the food. So the stomach is using up all the energy, borrowing the energy from all parts of the body just to digest the food. So mindful of this hard-working tummy, breathe in deeply, slowly for your hard-working stomach, and breathe out gently for your tired body. Breathe in deeply, slowly for your tired stomach, for your hard-working stomach, and breathe out gently for your tired body. Place your attention on your stomach. Your stomach is working extremely hard. So breathe in gently, deeply to help the hard-working stomach. Breathe out gently, relax. muscles around your tummy are tense because they are working hard and tired. Mindful of that, and with a sense of gratitude, breathe in and out slowly, gently. The food you have eaten is cooked 4 times. First is cooked in the mind, when you draw a menu and buy the food from the supermarket or the veggie shop. And secondly, the food is cooked in pots and pans in the kitchen. Thirdly, the food is cooked in your mouth when you eat and chew. In all those 3 stages, there is a choice what to eat and what not to. But in the last and final stage, the food is being cooked in the stomach, and the stomach has no choice but to cook whatever has been swallowed earlier. So the stomach is doing a very vital but very difficult job, perhaps disgusting job. Breathe in and out slowly, deeply, to help the work of your stomach. Breathe in deeply, slowly. Breathe out mindfully. Relax. The food is very attractive on the supermarket shelf. Still very attractive in the pots and pans and in the plate on the table, but it's less attractive when we have put that into our mouth. You don't want to see that anymore. But this is what you're going to swallow. This is what your body relies on to survive. And the further down it goes, the more disgusting the food becomes. 1 more inch down becomes more disgusting. 2 inches, 3 inches. But this is what the tummy has to digest, so that this body can function, so that you can sit without discomfort, you can walk without discomfort, you can move around, do your work without discomfort. So mindful of this process of digestion. Breathe in deeply, slowly, and breathe out mindfully, relaxed. move your attention to your head. The muscles on your head are tense because they also work very hard. Whenever you think, whenever you see something, whenever you listen to something, and when the brain produces stress, that stress is passed on to first the muscles on the head, then down the body. So the muscles on your head are tense and heavy. Breathe in slowly, deeply, relax. Breathe out gently, relax. Now move your attention to the areas around your ears, left and right, both sides. The muscles around your ears may be tense because they also work very hard. Whenever you listen, whenever you speak, all these muscles, they have to absorb stress chemical. So breathe in and out. Mindfully, slowly relax. Relax the muscles around your ears. Move your attention to your forehead now. The muscles in your forehead are also tense because they are tired. Mindful of this, relax. Let go, breathe in and out slowly, mindfully. Now move to the areas around your eyes. The muscles around your eyes are also heavy and tense. Mindful of this with a sense of compassion. Breathe in gently, slowly, and breathe out mindfully. Relax. Move your attention down to your cheeks, left and right. Relax the muscles. Relax your chin, your jaw. Place your tongue on the floor of your mouth. Breathe in slowly, gently, relax. move your attention to your shoulders, left and right. Focus on the stiff shoulders, the stiff muscles. You shoulder the burdens. Some of them you see, some of them you can't see. Psychological burden, mental burden, physical burden. That's why the muscles on the shoulders are tense. Mindful of this. Relax through slow and deep breathing. Focus on your arms, your hands, your fingers. You can feel they are heavy because they are tired, they are at work all the time. The time you get up until the time you go to bed, they have to work all the time during the meal, before the meal, after the meal. When you dress on, when you clean off, when you go to work, all the time. So now it's time to be compassionate towards them. Breathe in and out slowly, gently. Now focus on your backbones. They also work very hard to support you when you sit, when you walk. So they have accumulated a lot of stress chemical as a result. Now breathe in and out slowly, relax. Finally, return to your tummy. Breathe in and out gently, slowly. going to speak for about 20-25 minutes, and then we can have questions and answers. The reason I like to talk about this is 2 weekends ago in Oxford, my friends and I, we organized a conference on Buddhist chaplaincy. Buddhist chaplaincy in higher education, in healthcare, including fire service, armed forces. So we also have Buddhist chaplaincy in prison, but they don't come. The chaplains from prison don't come. During the 2-day conference, one of the keynote speeches is on mindfulness. Mindfulness in this secular world. Of course, I have known about this. I have worked with this. At some point, I was the trustee at the Oxford Mindfulness Center at Oxford University, where clinical psychologists use meditation to test and help people with depression, severe depression. Many people with relapses problem. This is to say that mindfulness meditation, Buddhist meditation, is not confined to Buddhist meditation centers and monasteries and Buddhist groups anymore. From the late 70s, Buddhist meditation has been integrated into what they call intervention, medical intervention, as by clinical psychologists, by behavioral medicine practitioners, clinicians. Lately, like neurologists have started using mindfulness meditation to do their research as well. So, many of you are Buddhists, so what do you think? So is it good or bad? Because in the conference, okay, after the speech, many Buddhist questions. Say if you use mindfulness in the business world, people use it these days. In the business world to reduce stress. And mindfulness teachers, they charge a lot. Maybe 5 hours, 300 pounds, 500 pounds, 1,000 pounds, like that. This is a corporate rate. and where is the Buddhist ethic? So some Buddhists would question. And not only this, another thing that some Buddhists find it difficult is that when you talk about mindfulness over there, they strip mindfulness of any Buddhist culture. When you go to a Buddhist meditation retreat, it comes with a package. Whether you're a Buddhist or not, if you go to Sayadaw going as retreat, you repeat Buddhang Saranam Gacchami, Panatipada Virami, you take the Triple Gems and the 5 precepts. At the Delhi prison, New Delhi prison, none of the meditators was a Buddhist, but part of the ritual, part of the cultural setup, they all have to do that. usually, our meditation room has a Buddhist statue, and we had a way of behavior in the shrine room, how we behave. And not only that, this mindfulness practice, mindful meditation, is to reduce greed, hatred, and delusion, lobha, dosa, moha, lobha, dosa, moha. But in the non-Buddhist context, people just talk about mindfulness, okay? They don't have any judgment on greed, whether greed is good or bad, no judgment. That's it. Delusion? What delusion? In the Buddhist sense, okay, a belief in rebirth is part of the system, for example. But in the non-Buddhist context, you can practice mindfulness meditation. You don't have to buy this belief. You can leave this out. So this is the world that you are facing now, especially you live in the West, and you have all Westerners practicing this mindfulness, the kind of mindfulness I'm speaking about, and the traditional mindfulness that you are used to in the meditation center. Because in the conference, in our conference, the majority are Westerners, because very few Asian repeat, 3, 4, 5. If we don't include volunteers. And because they themselves are very committed Buddhists, and they raise some doubts. They raise some doubts, whether or how far you should go down that route. Today, I'm not trying to answer those questions. I'm not even trying to repeat all of those questions. What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to make a point that this is an important conversation to engage in. Whether you come from a traditionalist, whether you come from a liberal background, this is a very important issue to engage with. I brought with me some books that I can easily grab from my library. You can see Psychoanalysis and Buddhism. This kind of book is written by professionals, people who have got training in medicine, in psychiatry, in clinical psychology, toward psychology awakening. This is to put some the Buddhist value into that. Awakening means transforming, because in Buddhism any practice is about transforming suffering into compassion, transforming hatred into compassion, into forgiveness, ignorance into wisdom, that kind of thing. This is what we say awakening. In Burmese we call Dhyaya, awakening. In Thai, this is, awakening is Dasaru, awakening. Written by two people, this is mindfulness for health. This is how to deal with pain. This is pain management. Two people with disability, okay, and with meditation training, with psychology training, this is how they use in their research and in their own practice, and this is what they have written. This is a collection of articles. It's about mindfulness. Mindfulness in Bali is called sati. Sati in Burmese, sati, and in Thai is called sati. Mindfulness. Many people here, they have professor of medicine, you have clinical psychologists, you have Buddhist scholars, Buddhist monks, Theravada, Mahayana, everybody. Okay, there's many will contribute to this volume. So, my purpose today is just to invite you to join the conversation, rather than giving you a list of questions or a set of answers. One thing that we are very particular in the Buddhist world, and something that we should look at again, is that in the Buddhist world, we are very particular about our tradition. Like in the Christianity, this is Methodist, this is Church of England, this is Catholicism. A member of the royal family converts into Catholicism, he or she has to relinquish the rights to the throne. It's still within Christianity, but it's a different denomination, different tradition. So in the religious world, people are very particular about this. Between the Shia and the Sunni, and between the Theravada and Mahayana. Okay. And people have all sorts of opinions, perceptions, interpretation that they use to form their identity. One of the things that I like to throw to you today is that, okay, you know already, many of you know already, the research program at Harvard and at New York University. At Harvard, not just Harvard, Wisconsin, Yale University, Duke University, many people, they focus on when they do a long-running research on Vipassana meditators. Vipassana, this is mindfulness, this is Theravada. Some of the people are lawyers, some of the practitioners. Some are lawyers, some are lecturers, some are housewives. Because from all sorts of professions. At New York University and a few other universities, over there, they focus entirely on Tibetan Buddhist monks. Tibetan Buddhist monks. And the researchers, the clinical psychologists, the neurologists, what they have found is almost identical. The results are identical. They have found that once you are deep into meditation, the forecortex is calm and I think it's even a revolution that they say the brain can still grow. Because the science says you can't grow anymore the brain. At a certain point the brain stops growing. But now, if you practice meditation seriously, the brain, not only that it doesn't recede, but it also continues to grow. The results from Theravada and the Tibetan meditation is all the same. But we are very particular. This is Tibetan, the Burmese wouldn't care about that. The Tibetan devotee, this is Theravada. They don't care about that. You see? Because we pay so much attention to the outside identity by looking at my robe. Now, if you just come from Burma, if you see me wearing this, okay, monks don't wear this, okay, this, how you call this? Yes, monks don't wear this. So you might question whether this is appropriate. But this is England, is a very cold country. They wear this. And what about the color? People they are still very particular about color. And the Tibetan color, the Burmese color, not very different nowadays. before 1930s, 1940s, Buddhists, quite similar this color. From that color it becomes okay. And from that now it becomes brown, maroon color. This color. It's all determined by commercial people, who line the robe and sell to the devotees like you, and you buy and you give to the monk just wear them. It's very simple. It's a commercially driven world. But apart from this, if you really examine the essence of the Buddhist teaching, if we just pick up one mindfulness, this is not everything about meditation, just some of it. Now, the medical world, the psychological world, the scientist world is already benefiting the world. It's already benefiting the world. So, in the Buddhist context, although some of the process that is being undertaken, the Buddhists may not feel very comfortable with that. Just the process. But when it comes to the outcome is but the outcome that the scientists, so scientific research is not about everything. It's about focusing on bit by bit. Now you work on depression with relapses. Not all depression, not all types of depression. Now you're working on people with paranoia, now with anxiety, now with stress. But that's not all. About 70 members of parliament have practiced this mindfulness. These people, they wouldn't come to any Burmese temple, any Thai temple. But because it's presented in a non-Buddhist context, 70 of them have practiced. And Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh has taught meditation at the Congress. Most of the congressmen and women, they have practiced meditation. When he came to speak at the House of Commons, I was invited, and I went to listen to him. And he was talking about the Buddhist theory of non-duality. First, we observe this is an object, this is a subject. Observing mind and the observing. Shuka ayo. Shurese. Shuka ayo. Two things, we have two things. But as we go on observing, this is visual object, this is the watching mind. As we go on observing, we transcend that. We come to see both the impermanence. So the nature of impermanence, it unites them. You see yourself as the donor, myself as the receiver, and so duality. But sometimes, when we do water pouring, etc., we try to use impermanence, the insight of impermanence, to transcend duality. So non-duality. And he was trying to use that to say that yes, all the object and the watching mind both are important. But these two, they can do better by cooperating rather than negating each other. As he was showing in the left and the right, the political divide, the conservative, the labor. If you don't have the right, the right side of the politics, the left doesn't make sense anymore. If you don't have labor, the left, the conservative doesn't have anyone to validate them. So they need each other. In that way, he brings a sense of the humanity to them. So this is the Buddhist value that he brought to the House of Commons when I went to listen to him. What I have observed is that the scientific process of bringing Buddhist meditation into their work is an ongoing process. Nothing is definite. So people keep working, and people are very open-minded. They openly say, some of them, if they are Buddhist, some of them, if they are non-Buddhist, some of them, if they are not, if they don't have any belief, if they are non-belief, they just say openly. And the good thing is that all of them, when they leave a belief, their belief or non-belief aside, and when they use mindfulness in practice, they all benefit this. They all benefit this. I hope in about 2 or 3 years' time, when we have a conference in Oslo, I hope you can come. We hope to have Buddhism and Science conference. This is for Europe. Usually what takes place is between Buddhist scholars and American scientists. America is the dominant force here, with His Holiness the Dalai Lama every 2 years that they do. And my life is all American-led. And very few European scholars participate in that. And of course, this is what some people are trying to do, and I hope it materializes. So we live in cross-cultural discipline. Cross-cultural discipline. The scientific culture, which is about self-inquiry, understanding, and the Buddhist meditation, which is also about self-inquiry. Inquire about yourself, about what you see, about what you hear, about the pain you feel, about your thought, so you inquire about it because you want to understand it. But this is where the two cultures can come together and serve humanity. The reservation that some Buddhists say that why those scientists, they have taken this mindfulness or some Buddhist philosophy into their research and they never mentioned the word be, the word Buddha. Why they never mention the word Buddha? Why they don't acknowledge the Buddha? On the part of the scientists, they say if they acknowledge the Buddha, this is it's going to be a problem. If they do so openly, it's going to kind of deter many people from engaging in this. So today I hope I have raised, I have provoked enough with this much. I have provoked enough for you so that you become interested in the issue and started reading. I'd like to tell you in this there is a diagram. This is not a complete one. It acknowledges it's not a complete one because this is only Google search and search on the ISI web, and it only refers to English language. This is mindfulness publication year by year from 1982 to 2011. 1982 only one publication. 1990 only 5. 8 years. 2000 the number of publications 383. 383. 211, 397. This is up to 211. No, 2011. 2012, 477. So this is the number of papers that come from research. When you talk about metta, okay, people use metta and they do research. When you talk about karuna, people use karuna and how Buddhist texts and they read it and they devise a scheme of research and they do research. And these are the number of papers that have been published. I like to inform meditation master in Burma, so every year in December I go and I hold a conference on Buddhist meditation and psychology since 2011. And this year in December I'm going to do that again. And this year the focus is on pain management. The last one was on emotion. So I leave it here, and if you have any comment and questions, so welcome.
How many of these people, scientists, studying meditation, how many of them become a true Buddhist?
I can't answer the question because those scientists themselves, they may see your question as significant or insignificant. Some of them may see insignificant. For them, becoming a Buddhist may be important. Some of them may think it's not important. For them, what is important, reducing suffering is more important. Reducing suffering is more important. Many people know, one of the editors, John Kapazin, a professor of medicine from MIT. He is the pioneer since the 1970s. He practiced with Tibetan masters, Zen master, Theravada master, with Sridham Kong Sayadaw, with Pao Sayadaw. He invited them there and he spent months with them, not just weeks. He learned from the problem. He learned from the problem. Mindfulness master course at Oxford University, they are all clinicians from hospitals. For every paper, they have to meditate 5 days. But to become a Buddhist is not a requirement, but to meditate is a requirement. So for them, your question, they may see your question is not significant. Yes, very.
Do they invite any Christians to these conferences to study, because they also do contemplation?
Yes, yes. So one of our two keynote speakers at Oxford 2 weeks ago was the Reverend Dr. Andrew Todd, the director of chaplaincy at Cardiff University. Cardiff University, and Mark Williams, professor of clinical psychology at Oxford University, who retired last year. He's a pastor. He's a pastor, but he teaches meditation. He learns meditation properly from the Zen, from the Taoist. He asks questions. He reads the text. He practices.
Because in the Christian tradition, I think they have this what they call the Jesus prayer, and they also sometimes concentrate on words.
We do have some books published on the comparative side.
Yeah.
Hawaii University has one journal devoted to this Buddhist Christian theology study.
Because there must be overlap, I think, between the different techniques.
I'm not qualified to say I don't know about the Christian tradition. I have been part of quite a few, including the Mindfulness conference at St. Mary University College in Buckingham. I met
there's a famous Spanish.
Yes, I met the last Pope there. Yes, and after that they organized mindfulness conference. The majority of the speakers are from the Christian tradition, including Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, all Christian tradition. And I represented Buddhist, and there was the Hindu, like that, the Sufi.
Yeah.
But Buddhism is presenting what it has to the world. But some Buddhists may still have some doubt, not on the merit or not on whether or not the people from outside the tradition should study this, but how they study. How they study, whether they strip Buddhist meditation so much of its history, its cultural background, that sort of thing. That's where some Buddhists have some reservation. Some Buddhists are very particular about meditation practice. Before you practice, you offer your body, your mind, your body to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, to the Sangha, to the teacher. This is a ritual. This is to train your mind that, okay, when you feel pain, this is not my body anymore. I have given it up. Everybody in the meditation center, before they do. So in one of my meditation retreats in Singapore, when I started the retreat without doing that, and one of the ladies actually she said, I haven't started it yet because I didn't go through that ritual. You see, so we are very particular about some cultural history, and those cultural components, they have their own meaning and they bring their own value. But it's too much for newcomer. Okay, so for people with scientific background, you think, well, this is not necessary. What's the essence? They go straight into that. Any more questions?
Any more? Any question?
I don't have any further question. Just want to comment on one thing that, because all the meditation and all what Buddha taught is not copyrighted. So everybody can use the technique, of course. And and if somebody is trying to sell the technique, it may not be right. But if somebody is trying to sell this service, it's okay. Whether the service uses this technique or not, it doesn't matter. But if somebody is charging for something, for the service, it should be okay. But if somebody is charging for the technique, which is not copyright, in that case, it would not be right. So,
intellectual property theft.
between Hindu meditation and the Buddhist meditation. So those techniques in your book is more of Buddhist.
These are all Buddhist meditation technique, and
the Hindu
in
practice, the Hindu way.
Some of these people, they include yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is not exclusively Hindu. Some ancient Buddhists, they do have some yoga, but not the Hindu ideology. So we get yogi in Burmese, it's the word yogi. Yogi means the person who practices yoga. And yoga, the word yoga was similar to meditation those days, not nowadays, in the Buddhist tradition. So, the difference, number one is the objective of Hindu meditation, the objective of Buddhist meditation. In this particular sense, you can also say the objective of science-based mindfulness meditation. And so all the objectives are different. As far as science-based mindfulness is concerned, the objective is very simple. It's just one at a time and very limited, because in science you have to be able to defend yourself. They say this meditation is going to help people with depression, and they will speak about that. And that's the only intention. And they have proven that more than 50%, about nearly 60% of the people, they can stop medication. And those who can't stop, they can reduce. So they only speak, but so for them, they have reached their nirvana, because their nibbana is very small, you see. Whereas the Buddhist nibbana is very comprehensive. You have a list of defilement, and you have to, you have to demolish those very solid blocks of defilement, killing bit by bit. So that's our aim, and we do so through our experience. The Hindu traditions have the intention, the objective is different, because they believe in Brahma, and then it has to do something with Brahma. It may be in some tradition is interpreted as an effort to reunite with Brahma, like that. But in Hinduism is not unifying. It has many schools. So which school we are talking about, we have to question that. If we are going to study this academically and scholarly. And I heard that the word Hinduism was not used in the early days. They used the word so Vishnu school is a Vaishnava, Vishnu school or which school, like that. Like we don't use the word Buddhism, we just use Theravada, Maya. The word Hinduism is the term that outsiders use for them. It's more of that case. Of course, nowadays you have the word Hindu Dhamma, that's the word, Hindu identity, that's very strong. But again, this is part of political agenda in India. There's one political group which is part of JP. I can answer your question easily or in a more sophisticated way, but not give any answer at all. Yes, Doreen.
And in India, quite a few of the yogis, very high yogis, they practice something called laughing meditation. And that has been catching on. So that, in a way, is a kind of liberating from one's thoughts, isn't it, I suppose? So is the aim the same? But I suppose it depends on your focus, doesn't it, while you're doing it?
I have not studied that. I have seen some of them. I have not really studied.
It's catching on a bit in some places.
Anything, Okan?
Yeah. By listening to this, you must be aware there are so many different types of approach to meditation, whether it is vipassana or samatha or whatever. But as Buddhists, we're sitting here today, I would like to say that it is important for us to focus on what we believe in, focus on what we trust ourselves to do. And it's good to know what's going on in the world, but if you are allowing yourself to be pulled along with the outside world, then you will be very, very lost. So whether it's Vipassana or Theravada, Mahayana, Burmese, Thai, whatever, Chinese, just beware what you're doing, believe your teacher, believe in Shikyamuni Buddha, and be a good Buddhist and focus on what we do. Just find your own path.
In a way, these research projects, these researchers, they validate the Buddhist tradition that has been there more than 2,000 years. And they clearly say this if you read them carefully. I myself, I think there's more benefit, I see more benefit to the larger world than the disadvantage. So I personally don't have any objection to what they do. Because some of them, they clearly say that they don't believe in nirvana. Okay, so if you do you have problem with this kind of people coming to your meditation class? So I don't. Okay, a scientist student, a biology student, a PhD student, she was sent to me by her supervisor. She didn't believe in anything. You say, my supervisor asked me to come to you. I don't believe in Buddhism. I don't believe in rebirth. So what can you do for me? Her supervisor said that she has stress, depression, and that affects academic performance and also personal life. So I told her, number one, you don't have to believe in the Buddha.
That's right.
Number two, you have to believe in me. But number three, you need to believe that the problem exists. Your problem exists. Okay. Number four, you have to believe that this problem can be overcome. Number three and number four. Number three is the first truth. The first one of it. Number four is the third one. The third one. The third one. And I asked her to sit quietly. I didn't use the word meditate. We don't meditate, but it's important to calm down, to slow down a little bit. Can we do this, okay, in silence for about 3 minutes? Just watch breathing. Breathing is not Buddhist. If breathing in and out is Buddhist, the whole world is Buddhist. Everybody breathes. And she sat down and she benefited from meditation. I never asked her whether she believes in any of those Buddhist beliefs or not. And what is important is that you create one simple aim, one simple objective for that kind of people. But sometimes, this is a criticism, sometimes in the Buddhist tradition, we have our aim too vast, too big, that we scare ourselves. Oh, I can't achieve nirvana in this life. This set up very high aim and then they give up immediately. Never meditate. That's it. Okay, it's a chant now. Tí thay mai số nữa, tí thay mai số này. Tí thay mai số này. Nhạc về lần này. We are going to share merit now, okay? We bring this gathering, this meeting to conclusion, and we dedicate this merit. First, we dedicate our effort to the Buddha. We honor the Buddha with our effort. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Buddhang Bhujami. We also dedicate our efforts, our generosity to the Dhamma. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Dhammang Bhujami. We dedicate our effort, our generosity to the Sangha, all the genuine practitioners. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Sanghang Bhujami. We dedicate our effort to achieving the end of suffering, the end of problem, and to achieving lasting peace. Adha Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Jadi Jara Vyadi Maranama Padimuchisami. Now, follow me in Burmese. Ashimpayam Tvido Dhoti Neyaku Uthana Kutu Thila Kutu Oya Visa Kutu Daya Sui Nui Chen Dhammata Kesa Kutu Ikutu Kaumu Nyapang Suroku Pyusu Pibai Ashimpayam Pyu Tamyam Utalati Maomana Mateyana Naibanyaku Yao Ya Yao Chao Chao Thao Ban Chipa Sita Ashimpayam Pyu Tamyam Utalai Abobagaku Tensha Shimashi Kondo Amita Ho of One Sayadaw Sui Miu Nyadaka Sata Hivi Dong Setabo Chingli Jakondo Wineya Fukita Dokita Vatawa Apoundua Nya Ewe Ngapai Nya Ya Yui Go Sik Napsa Chan Chan Mama Chan Chan Tata Shijawa Sido Alo Chasatiya Yibo Jama Kopo Dhamdik Dhamdik Alo Chasatiya Yibo Jama Kopo Dhamdik Dhamdik Alo Chasatiya If you want to sit books, I'm taking them back. So